Hi folks, welcome to the 11th class in this beginning class. And let's start out by doing the form up through step, parry, and punch, the move you learned last time. We'll do it several times and then I'll review details. So right from the top, just run through it with us. Don't worry about, all the specifics. Just practice the form several times with us. And go ahead. And again. Great. So that's a nice little bit to do, right? We did 3 of the forms as far as you know. What this beginning class covers is the section we call the first third, which is basically a third of the postures. So if you've gotten this far in this video series, then presumably you're practicing at home and you're starting to feel this and it's good. This is a good amount to do. So if you can get yourself consistently practicing the form that you've learned so far 3 times a day, morning, evening, then you're doing great. If you want to add more, you can do the animal frolics before the form, or you can do more repetitions of the form. It's also good to dive into the new moves you're learning and look at all the details and try to really figure all that out. But the key thing is practicing like we just did, just running through it, and just running through it for the joy of doing Tai Chi. We were told that you should do your morning form as if, quote, you're already a master. And so the thing about that is that you're just doing it. You're not agonizing about the details. As we work on Tai Chi, we'll give you layer after layer of detail. We sometimes say the practice and the form is like an onion. And when you peel one layer off, there's another layer underneath it. And you peel that layer off and there's another layer underneath it. And so you'll just keep working with the details of Tai Chi and of the form over the years and decades. This is a lifelong practice, and it's intended to be something that continues to be fruitful to explore, continues to be rewarding to practice. It's not a bucket list item. Oh, learned Tai Chi, check, on to the next thing. It's intended to be something that becomes part of your life, part of who you are, part of how you relate to yourself internally, how your body feels, and part of how you relate to the world around you. Externally, how you interact with the space around you, with other people, with objects, with the air. So as you're doing this, the practice builds on itself over and over. The only way the practice builds on itself is if you're practicing. And so what we just did, 3 run-throughs of the form, is not that demanding. I didn't watch the clock, but I'd guess it took us about 7 minutes to do that, which is not that much. It's really easy for 7 minutes to come and go in your day, and you could have spent those 7 minutes practicing, which you're doing if you got this far, right? You wouldn't be watching this 11th video if you hadn't been practicing. So good. Pat yourselves on the back and keep it up. Let's do it again, and this time we'll stop briefly at each final posture. I'll talk about a couple posture points to pay attention to. As appropriate, I'll turn around and face you. You'll always have Beth facing nominally the same direction as you, so you don't have to, transpose left hands and right hands and all that kind of stuff. And this is another way of practicing. There's 2 ways of practicing: for flow, which is what we just did, where we ran through it all, and for details and checks at the postures. That's what we're going to do now. Make sure that if you only do one, you practice like you're already a master. And the master just flows through it. She doesn't stop at every posture and agonize about how she's doing with it. She just flows through it. So go ahead and just flow through it when you're practicing first thing in the morning. But it's also good to stop and check each of the bits. So let's do it again. We'll stop at every posture. I will say a few things, and we'll run through that much. So, from the top, the V, heels close to each other, the legs are comfortable. Right away here, get in touch with your body. Feel the rear crown of the head as if suspended, that lets the body hang down towards the ground. Feel your feet on the ground, and feel that all 3 points of the tripod in each foot are connected. And feel your center, the Dantian. Actually try to feel like you're in the center. And go ahead. Sinking, stepping, shifting, body opens to the right, turn to the front, pivot on the right heel, shift 50-50, stand up to an unlocked knee position. Check your feet. Make sure the toes are in a line. The feet are parallel, both pointed straight ahead and a comfortable distance apart. The arms are just at your side. The first one. The arms come up, the wrists relaxed. Feel out to your fingertips. Hands slide back on the invisible tabletop. Arms rebalance, the elbows slide back, the wrists drop, the fingertips wake up. The wrists gradually straighten as you put the hands down. Twice more. A long curve from the feet out to the fingers. Everything comes back in towards your center. Arms rebalance, fingertips point up. Wrists gradually straighten as the hands come down. And once more. Feel the motion from your feet all the way out to your fingertips. And now let everything come into your center. Feel the space above you and feel down to the ground. This is the first standing meditation posture. There's several that are called out. And in this one, what you're working on is the unification of inner and outer. So the eyes are open. Be very careful about this. A lot of times people want to shut their eyes. The eyes are open, but your gaze is focused internally. So I'm not out there looking around at everything. My eyes are open, but I'm really paying attention to what's inside. I feel all the space around me, and I feel what it feels like inside. My ears are listening, and they're listening inside. The lips are easily sealed, so the jaw doesn't hang open. If you can't breathe through your nose because you've got allergies or a cold or something, of course you'll breathe through the mouth. And when I'm talking, I'm going to breathe through my mouth. But in general, the lips are easily sealed. The tip of the tongue curls to reach the roof of the mouth, the hard palate just behind the teeth. So you're not trying to mash the tongue up onto the roof of the mouth. The tip comes up and just touches. Great. We'll continue. Moving on to ward off left. Shift to the left, turn to the right, a ball of air. All the weight forward. Take a step. Shift. Ward off left. Check your 70-30. Make sure you've got a good 70-30. Width and length, front foot pointed straight ahead. Feel the left arm rounded. Doesn't mean bend the joints, but it's not just linear sticking out in front of you. Feel this space between your chest and the left arm. You're taking care of that space. And let the right hand rest on the head of that small child in front of your hip. Beautiful lady's hand in both hands. Continue. All the weight forward, turn to the right, a ball of air, step. As you shift, that ball rotates, it comes up horizontal and gets smaller. Turn your waist, ward off right. Now this is just the same. The right arm has that rounded feeling. If you put your left hand down by your side, it would be just exactly like ward off left. But instead, the left hand is holding this small ball of air between the right hand and your chest. Sink into the front leg, turn slightly to the right, and sit all the way back. As you do that, the left palm turns up. The left ring finger is here at the side of your right elbow. And my waist is still facing right of front. Now turn from the right to the left. That's the end of rollback. Keep turning, let the arms swing. Turn back towards the front, the two hands squeezing together, and press. You should still have a good 70-30 because the feet didn't move, but double check it. Make sure you've got width and length. Front foot is pointed right straight ahead of you. Heart of the left palm over the right pulse point. And the forearms are neither vertical nor horizontal. They're 45 degrees. 100% into the back, palms separate, elbows drop into rear root, and push forward. Feel like you're hanging on the clothesline. If I came and grabbed your fingers, your arms would just hang. So they're not out here where it's hard. If you lay your arms down too much, it's heavy. So let them be up here where they could just hang. That's push. On to single whip. Sit back, forearms lay down. Turn the waist, pivoting on the right heel. Shift to the right, turn to the right, gathering the hook. All the fingers come together, and the left hand is right underneath the right, so that the drips can fall into the left hand. Turn, extend the hook. Take a step, heel first. Make sure you've got enough width. You probably have to step more to the left than you think. Shift, the left hand comes up. When more weight is forward, at this point the left palm is facing my body. When more weight is forward, turn the waist, left palm turns out. Single whip. Check your 70-30. Make sure you got enough width and fix it if you didn't. Just go ahead and move the feet. There's never any reason to hold a posture where there's an error that you can fix. So always check. Make sure you've got length. Make sure your waist is exactly square to the front. Left wrist is in front of left shoulder. Left elbow dangles. Right hook hand is at your side. Continue all the way forward. Turn to the right, hugging the big tree. Hug a small tree. Feel out to your fingertips. Lifting hands. Right empty foot, the heel is in a line with the left. My right fingers are pointed out towards my mirror image's throat. My left palm relates to my right elbow. All the weight in the back. Drop the hands, turn the waist, bring the foot back, a ball of air across your left thigh. Step for shoulder strike. And shift. Right arm is like an elephant's trunk. Left palm swings up, palm down, fingers by right elbow. Most of the weight in the front leg. This is a weird, not quite square 70-30. It's unique, but you're paying attention to the front. Continue all the weight into the right leg. Turn the waist. Let the hands separate. Move your left foot. White crane spreads wings. The right palm protects the forehead. It's a handspan away from your eyebrow. The left hand is here by your thigh. It's close to the thigh. Your waist is frontal, but you won't get all the way, but you're paying attention to the front. All the weight's in the back foot. White crane spreads wings. On to brush knee. Drop the right hand. Turn the waist. Arms swing. Drop the front hand, fold the rear hand, take a step with the left foot for a 70-30. Shift, hand, brush, knee. Check your 70-30. Make sure you've got width. Make sure you've got length. Make sure the waist is pointed exactly front. Right wrist is in front of right shoulder. Right elbow dangles. Left hand is here at your side. Make sure you've got beautiful lady's wrist. Don't let the wrists bend. All the weight down into the front foot. Replace the rear foot. Shift, opening, stretch the rubber band. Release the rubber band, turn back towards the front. Now your left fingers are pointed towards your mirror image's throat. Your right hand is here facing your left elbow. All your weight is in your back foot. Turn your waist. Front hand drops, rear hand folds, front foot steps. Make sure you've got enough width. Shift, waist is still in the corner. Then turn, brush knee. If you needed to turn your back foot in, make sure you did that on the heel. On to the punch. Sit back, turn the waist. Right hand drops to protect groin. Left hand opens towards the corner. Front foot pivoted on heel. Shift forward, squeezing a fist. Let the rear foot swing in and out, little half moon step. Shift to the left, arms trail behind. Shift to the right, arms trail behind. My waist is left of center. Turn from left to right. Fist drops by your side. Left hand strikes out high. Left foot steps. Sink, shift, and punch. I'll go over the punch in more detail in a second. And take a break. Great. So it's really useful to run through the form like that, stopping at all the final postures and the checkpoints, and just checking out how you're doing. Because one of the important things you need to be doing now is actually learning to really perceive your body and the positions it's in. And so a simple one is the beautiful lady's hand, right? Beautiful lady's hand, I want a straight line from my middle finger all the way down through the forearm. And I don't want the hand, I don't want it tilted side to side. I don't want the wrist bent forward or back. So beautiful lady's hand is an immediate thing that you can start changing. Over time, what you're doing is you're allowing all of the arm and the palm and the fingers to be open so that the chi can flow all the way out there, so that your awareness can reach all the way out through the hand. But at the very beginnings, you're just trying to get the mechanics right. And so, with time, you will start to know if beautiful lady's hand is there or not because of the way it feels. So you'll know right away, if I cock my wrist, right away I'll be able to feel that the chi's not flowing here, that my awareness can't really reach all the way out to the fingertips. It's trapped in the tense wrist, and I'll change it. Don't worry about that yet, but when you start noticing that, that's great. But for right now, you're just trying to teach yourself to know where your hands are and to know if your wrist is bent or not. So a really easy one, take press. So just get into press with me. And here in press, take your back hand away and look at your front hand. So see, I made a mistake here. My front hand is not beautiful lady's hand. But that's easy to miss because my back hand is in the way. So I don't even see the front hand. So take the back hand away and get the front hand actually in beautiful lady's hand. And now bring your back hand and lay it on top of it. And then take your front hand away. And see, I made another mistake here. My palm is pulled back. And so that's an easy thing to do. This is an easy thing to do when you're in it. So then I want to soften that hand so that I've got beautiful lady's hand and it's laid on it. So this is press. Go ahead and take a break. And when you're working on it, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to be like, how did my hands get like that? I don't know why I'm doing this. And so you need to change it. And you're just going to just do this. Everybody can move their hands. There's people who can't move their hands. But everybody who's practicing Tai Chi with us here can move their hands. And, you just need to do that and just make it right. Just stop and press and look at how your hands are and fix them. And just fix them. With time, then, you'll start to feel the difference. But right away, you're teaching yourself to notice where you are for real, not just imagining that you're where you are, but noticing where you are for real, and then making changes. And that's the whole process of Tai Chi Chuan, is really becoming more aware of how you hold yourself physically, mentally, energetically, and where the way you hold yourself is off kilter and out of balance, which causes more force. I'm leaning. If I totally relaxed at this point, I'd fall over. And so I don't want to fall over. So when I'm leaning, I'm going to use force to keep myself upright. And with the Tai Chi Chuan process is to say, wait a second, tension, force, and get myself back upright where I'm not leaning. Oops, messed up, tension, force, get myself back into the proper shape. And so that beautiful lady's hand is a great place to start that. So you want to, as you're doing work and checking out each posture, really look at all the stuff. Look at where your feet are, look at where your waist is, look at where your hands are, and change it. Change it to be the way that we're teaching you, the way that you're learning, the way you want it to be. And with time then, you'll start to notice when those errors first begin. And that's the best place to change them. Once an error is manifest, once it's already happened, it's a lot more work to fix it than if when I'm coming into press, I notice I'm swinging my arm and I'm coming into press, I notice right there that the wrist is bending and I change it so that it comes onto my other hand without having that bend. And so that's what you need to be doing as you're learning Tai Chi. Over and over and over, move by move, and it'll change. You'll feel different. So let's do step, parry, and punch briefly, and then I'll turn it over to Beth, and she will teach you the next move. So from the second brush knee, sit all the weight into the back, waist turns to the corner. Really try to make everything start and finish together. So go back to the brush knee. As we're shifting and turning, try to make the left foot rotate, try to make the left palm open, try to make the right hand drop, and have all that happen together with your shifting and turning. So go ahead, shift and turn. Shift forward, squeezing that fist. Don't squish the caterpillar, don't loose the caterpillar. And let your rear foot swing in and out. So make sure the right foot is pointed towards the corner, because this is going to be the back foot for your 70-30. If you have it pointed straight ahead, all right, let me show you. If when I step it's like this, now my 70-30 isn't going to be in the right place. So when I come through here and swing this foot, make sure it's pointed to the corner, not straight ahead. If you point past the corner, that's okay, because then when you come into the punch, you'll be able to turn that rear foot. But if you start out with it too much towards the front, then you're just in trouble. So let's do it again from brush knee. Sit back, everything starts together, everything finishes together. Shift forward, squeezing the fist. Rear foot swings in and out, lands for a 70-30. Shift all the weight into the right foot, arms trail behind, and stop here. Make sure your arms are comfortable. You're not flat Stanley, two-dimensional paper cutout. The arms are here at your side. You feel connected to them. If you move your waist, it moves out to the arms. Your waist is left of center, not already square, left of center. And take a break. So now the next bit really illustrates turn the waist, using the waist to actually make the arms move. So I'm going to demonstrate it in a way that I don't quite do, but I want to make this really clear. I sit back, I shift forward, foot swings, I make sure it's pointed to the corner. I shift, my arms trail behind, and now all of this happens from turning the waist. So I turn my waist, and 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 I settle to put the hand and the foot on the ground. So it's not the arms and the leg moving. I'm not doing this. Right? That's just me moving my hands and my foot. Or the other thing that happens is people leave it too long. And they get all the way over. See how I'm flat and two-dimensional here. So both of those aren't turn the waist. All movement comes from the dantian. This is a little bit held, but it's a good demo. That as I'm turning here, every time I move my hands and foot, it's because the waist is turning. The waist turns. The waist turns. I settle. There's nothing that happens in the hand and the foot that is not caused by waist turn. They don't ever move on their own. My waist turns, my waist turns, my waist turns, I land. So really try to get that to be all coordinated. And the end of it, I'm going to be right of center. So let's do it again from the second brush knee. All the weight into the back. Everything starts together and finishes together. Shift forward, squeeze a fist. Easy step. Right foot is pointed to the corner. Shift. Arms trail behind. Not two-dimensional. Rounded. Now turn your waist from left corner to right corner and have that move the hands and foot. The right hand at this point is right straight ahead of me. It has, the left hand, sorry. The left hand is right straight ahead of me. It has not crossed. It's right where I'm going. The right hand is hanging here at my side with the knuckles showing, not the tiger's eye, the caterpillar hole. And my thumb is folded down along the knuckles. And then shift and punch. A good 70-30, width, length, square, fist right in front of you, left palm faces right forearm, left fingers point towards right top corner. The two hands just meet the tissue paper on that comes from my nose and belly button. Right fist is a little bit further out than the left hand, not the left hand ahead of the right. Right fist is a little further out. And if I dropped the fist down to the ground, it would be just in front of my foot. So I'm not reaching out, and I'm not also trying to punch somebody right here. I let it come out. punch. Okay, great. Let's run through that twice more. No breaks. Your process is to remember all the things we just talked about and try to do them. Now, you won't be able to do all of them, but notice the ones you do and the ones you don't do. And then the next time you do it, try to remember the ones that you didn't do and try to make sure that you continue to do the ones you did do. And again, you'll miss them. What'll happen is you'll say, oh, rats, I moved my hands and then I just moved my foot. I know I'm supposed to do that all with the waist. That's the process. That's fine. The next time you do it, you'll do it again. But you'll notice it as you're doing it. You'll say, oh, darn, I did it again. And then the time after that, you'll remember, oh, yeah, right, okay, hands and foot have to move with the waist, and then you'll remember to do it. So go ahead. Professor Chung Man-ching, our teacher's teacher, said, invest in loss. And what that means is, don't be scared of making mistakes, but notice you're making the mistakes. So go ahead and let your loss, your errors, teach you. That's your investment, and you reap the reward of that. So go ahead and make mistakes. We all make mistakes, but notice it. And then the next time you do it, notice it sooner. And then the time after that, notice it when you're about to make the mistake. That's the place where you can fix it before it's manifest. So let's do it twice more. We'll just run through it. I'll say stuff, but you need to really remember. Brush knee. And go ahead. Everything starts together and finishes together. Step to the corner. Arms trail behind. Turn the waist. And punch. Just replace the hands. You can do it again. Shift. Shift forward, squeezing a fist. Let the right foot step. Shift, arms trail behind. Turn the waist. And punch. Okay, so there's some review for you. And now Beth will teach you the next move. And here she is.
So we've got a new move to learn. The name of this move is as if sealing, apparently closing, but we tend to call it withdraw and push. The final posture is one you already know. It's push. And going from the punch to the push, you won't actually take any steps. You'll shift forward and back in your 70-30, but you're not going to have to take any steps. So we can, I'm going to just show you how it looks, and then we'll take it apart bit by bit and give you some explanation. So you've just done the punch, and you're going to put a little more weight into your front leg, your left leg, and as you do that, the fist opens, the waist turns to the left hand comes palm up behind your elbow, under your armpit, and your right hand, the palm is facing to the outside. Your hand is on edge like this. Then you're going to sit into the back leg, turning the waist to draw the right hand over the left wrist. When they cross, you'll turn back to the front. That takes the hands apart, and shift back into your 70-30 for push. Let me do it this way also so you see what's happening. Maybe actually this way is probably better. So a little more weight into the left leg. Open your fist. Left hand comes in behind elbow, under armpit. Sit into the back leg, turning the waist. That draws the right hand over the left wrist. When the hands cross, you're going to turn back to the front. Hands come apart and shift back into push. So now let's look at the pieces. And I'll keep facing the same direction as you right now so that it's not quite as confusing. So get yourself into the punch. That means you want to have your left leg forward. Your right foot is at a good angle. You've got width as well as length. Sitting down, Left fingers point right top corner. Right hand is in a fist. The two hands are approaching your center line. Right hand is further out. Left hand is a little higher. And little more weight into the front leg. Let go of the fist. Left hand comes in behind elbow under armpit. So let's just do that much again. A little more weight into the left leg, let go of the fist. Left hand in position under your right armpit. And once more. A little more weight into the left, turning to the left. Open the fist, left hand comes in underneath. Rest your legs. So this next part is, it looks like it's taking the hands apart, but it's really turning the waist that takes the hands apart. So, let me face you. We've gotten to here. I'm sitting into my back leg and turning. Notice, I'm not moving my arms. My arm is moving because my waist is turning, and that's what's drawing these two hands into position. I'm coming right over the wrist here, like that. So it may look like I'm doing this, pulling my right arm away, but the right arm only gets pulled because I'm turning. It might also look like I'm pushing this hand this way, but it's pretty much staying in place, in space, and the rest of me is turning around that. So that's how you get to this place that's the cross hands place. This would be the as if sealing part of it. Sealing being S-E-A, like sealing wax, not the sealing. So sealing and closing. And then the push is the closing part. So let's do it again. From the punch. Little more weight into the front leg. Let go of your fist, turn the waist. Left hand under armpit. Sit into your back leg and turn the waist to draw the right hand over the left wrist. When the hands have crossed, your dantian will be in the corner. Your awareness will be in the corner. Let's just do all that again. Shift more into the front. Fist opens, sit into the back, drawing the hands apart till they're in a cross hands. And once more. More weight into the left, let go of the fist. Left hand is palm up. Sit into the back leg, it draws the hands into cross hands. At this point, your weight is in your back leg. Rest your legs. The other thing I should point out is that when I let go of the fist, I'm not reaching somewhere. It's not this. I'm not trying to tie myself up. I'm not going somewhere. I'm sitting into my front leg and releasing the arm, the fist, and the arm goes to the corner because my waist goes to the corner, not because I reach over to the side. So shoulders and hips want to stay together, and the turn of the torso is what makes the arm go over to the corner. So let's add the last piece, and then we can do it some more. So, a little more weight into the left leg. Open your fist. Draw your right hand by turning the waist and shifting the weight. Then turn back to the front. You still have the weight in your back leg. Your palms have opened out, and now just come forward, and it's another push. So the final posture, with the exception of the stance being a little different, you're in your left leg, not your right leg, but the arms end up in the same place as before. This is just another push. So if we reposition our hands, we can do this little loop over and over again. A little more weight into the front leg. Fist opens, sitting into the back leg, hands cross. Hands come apart, you face front, and come forward, push. And again. Shift and turn, sitting into the back leg, hands cross, turn back to the front, hands come apart, and push. Just one more time. You still have something in your back leg, and then you draw all the weight into the back leg as you come into this position, and then come back into your 70-30. Great, rest your legs. So I want to say a few words. We just did a punch. I want to say a few words about the martial aspect of Tai Chi. It is a martial art. I've been doing this for 35 plus years, I guess. I've never been in a fight. I don't expect to ever be in a fight. It's not about fighting. In fact, if anything, it's the art of getting out of the fight and not standing and, having to go to blows. Our teacher Baton would say the highest level of the martial art is as you're walking down the street, somebody with bad intent is coming toward you, and before they even meet you, you just happen to cross the street, and there's no fight. So that's really what we're after. But there are functions that can be discerned from different movements, and that helps us know what it is we're trying to do. This move in particular, this seeming to seal and as if closing, withdraw and push, as we refer to it more colloquially, is like a picture-perfect setup. We don't really have many picture-perfect martial interaction setups. This is not an art where I do this and you practice doing that, and then I come in with this and you practice doing that. We don't do these little choreographed spar sequences or anything like that. We do something that we call push hands. That's a two-person interactive exercise, and Lee and I can demonstrate it. This is not sparring. This is not practicing for a fight. This is learning to do Tai Chi with another body and listening to what's happening, noticing any place where you have tension or the other person has tension. Because if they have tension, Lee just gave me a tense arm here, this tense arm becomes a handle that I can use to dispatch him. So that's what we practice. It's not very martial, you're not walking down some dark alley and a guy jumps out and says, "Give me your wallet," and you say, "Well, take a 70-30, give me ward off." Okay, here we go. I'm gonna challenge you to a push, and then if you win, then you get my wallet. Of course not. But it's a nice interactive practice that shows you all kinds of aspects of what it means to relax and be real attentive to what's going on in the moment and being able to discharge somebody. However, this little setup here, this withdraw and push, is a perfectly matched little choreography. So Lee and I are going to show it to you now in the hopes that it helps you understand what it is you're doing with all this opening the fist and putting this hand back here. It seems kind of awkward. So I'm going to come and throw a punch at Lee. I'm doing the punch part, right? And I throw a punch at Lee, but he doesn't just stand there. He says, "Whoa, somebody's fist is coming at me. I'm going to take it." And so we'll do it once just fast. So the move goes like this. I punch at him, he catches my arm. I've got a fist, but then he pulls on my arm. Well, I don't want to have that arm pull me out of my ground. You know, if I just let him pull me, well, that's not very centered and balanced. So when he takes my fist and pulls on it, I just let go and I let him have it. At the same time, I bring this hand over here so that I don't have to stay in this crazy position. I turn and take this hand out of there, and now I've drawn him into me. I turn my hands into push, and away he goes. So we can show it one more time. I punch, he grabs me, I pull back, and away he goes. So that's unique. We do not have many of these picture-perfect things, but, you know, he grabs my arm, this hand comes in, I sit into the back leg and pull this away, and then I come back and push. So let's do this again. We'll do it from, we'll connect it up to the push. So start in the second brush knee. And begin. Sitting into the back leg and turning. Shifting to the corner. Foot swings in and out. Shift. Turning the waist. And punch. Little more into the front leg. Fist opens, sitting back, hands crossed. They come apart and push. Okay, and let's do that one more time. From the last brush knee. All the weight into the right leg and turn. Shift to the corner. Right foot swings in and out. Shift into the right. Your left of center, your right of center. Punch. A little more weight forward. Sitting into the back, hands cross, turn palm out, and push. Okay, so now you just need to learn how to close it all up, and you'll have the first third. Yay! So let's do the whole form up through withdraw and push. And begin. More weight in the left, opening the fist. Sitting into the back leg, drawing the right hand over the left wrist. Turn back to the front, hands come apart, and push. Okay, great. So y'all are doing great if you've made it this far, and pretty soon you'll have the whole first third.